Yes, wait, now one more panel. So you say you're in England right now?
Yeah, I'm in the UK. Just at a church conference, where over 2,000 people come to the house of God, and we worship God for a week.
Okay, nice. How's it going?
Yeah, it's good. Today's the first day. I'm joined with some of my brothers, disciples in Christ here, and we had an explosive time tonight, as we always do. So
That's good to hear. That's good to hear.
Yeah, you good.
Before while we waiting on Suade, you can just start the
What do you mean wait on
Oh,
me? I hear.
it that certain players, you wait for like so are they, when you see Kelvin Jones, you get excited and thing, right?
This is
I
our
try,
big name too.
right?
This is our big name too.
I try to remember who Andrew get excited for and thing, but it had men, especially men who used to real beat up Benedict and thing. I used to be like us.
Nah, this one. I remember you was on that nap steam.
Boy.
Just destroy everybody, eh?
Bro, that
Oh,
was
that,
I think that was a timing where Brenton, Dillian, and Atiba and Naps did
yeah,
their homework in getting players to
Right.
yeah. Yeah, how nice does make it song, eh? The scouting, the took that does make it sound so nice.
What?
Fire.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Trifactor podcast.
This podcast is for trainees both local and abroad, exploring the diaspora of all levels of football, be it interclub, small goal, collegiate, national, right?
This podcast is hosted by me, Andre, Osei, and Zwade.
If you want to know the history of past players, present and future, this is for you. And if you stumble across here, don't worry. God doesn't make mistakes. This is for you.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Most importantly, give us your feedback for future content that you might be interested in.
This week's episode, we have
Somebody who made it at all levels. Right now, he's doing coaching, right? And somebody who many people look up to and remember from his Naps days. Tonight we have Mr. Jerol Forbes. Thanks for coming on, bro.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
All right. So it's been a while since we started this way, so I'll just start it how I like to start it. Your first days of football.
You saying in smart is you really trying to rush to take the easy questions?
Yeah, I don't mind taking the easy questions. Your first days. What do you remember your first time in football? Who introduced you to the game, or where did you fall in love with the game?
I would say the first. I was not a footballer first. I was a runner. I used to do 100 meters.
I can see that.
And then from doing 100 meters, people saw the speed that I had, and they said, why don't you try cricket? So I tried cricket. Unfortunately, my brother as well was a cricketer. He ended up going to the West Indies team, but
okay.
We were very competitive. So we were playing cricket, and after which I went to Superior Anglican School.
Okay.
And there was one specific game. Our team used to get battered, but I was playing defense. And one particular day, I took a ball from the back line and ran through the whole of Superior Boys RC School and scored the lone goal, right, which was we lost 23-1.
Oh, God. Wow. So yes. I guess Superior Boys had much they had a better team.
Yeah, well, they had Lee Haynes, who was on the national under 17 team, man. They had some serious boys, and they were demolition people.
Oh, it's 23?
23 water.
Yeah,
that's like England San Marino, boy. Wait. All right. So you started off
but he scored the best goal of the game, though. He scored the goal of the game.
Yeah, well, the highlight was because it was never done in our school, because our school was more academics. It wasn't a school where we had that sports,
Yeah.
They would train us 2 weeks before we go play cricket or football.
Right.
Sounds about right. So Rona, you went into cricket, you got into football. So this will be a low-hanging fruit. Your natural talent was speed. Besides that, any natural ability with the ball, or shooting, good on the ball, any natural abilities before you became trained?
Well, my cousin, he used to be playing football, and my deceased brother, who's no longer with me, he started off playing football, and after seeing how he would go and train every day for Cox Coaching School, where Levi Garcia came out from,
Yeah,
I used
Cox
to
still doing
attend
that
there.
this year.
Yep, and that kind of paved the way because at the age of 8, my cousin would train me. He would show me certain things, and I was very persistent because even when I went to Paliseco Football Academy, they would put me on the bench and they wouldn't play me at all. But my mom said she remembered every day I would not eat breakfast, but I'm first on the pitch,
Right.
last to leave, even though I wasn't getting a game.
Yeah. All right.
Right.
So you're definitely dedicated to the craft. It paid off. So at that age, well, you say you were on that Cox Coaching School, so I was going to ask you, any trainer or facilitator that gave you some confidence to make you think that you can play at the secondary school level?
I would think I'll mention a coach by the name of Keith Pereira. He was very instrumental in my upbringing. Deceased Coach Halls, but also Mr. Brian Williams. They were the pivotal points building Paliseco and the Youth Academy back then.
Right. Baron Williams, especially was one. I used to carry the church and thing.
Yeah, he would carry us, but I would say more when I met Mr. Marcel, Coach Marcel, who was Star Wars Strikers. He also, because at that point in time in Trinidad was the Youth for Cup or something, and that way the 2001 team for the World Cup started grooming players 4 years interval before the World Cup. So,
Yeah.
So I guess so was it clear to you from an early age that you were going to play football professionally? Like that's what you were going to pursue, or was it like a balance between you had to do academics and sport?
For my young age, I was brought up in a family in business, and as well as my aunts and their teachers and principals. So I was grown up by women. I didn't have the privilege. My father, he was not present in my life. But, the women that paved the way for me, they showed me the way in education. They showed me the way in home economics, in business. And I'm very fortunate by them to learn these traits from them. But I'm also grateful to God first, because if it wasn't for God, then I wouldn't have these doors open for me, because I did pass for a junior sec. And after playing for Superior Junior Secondary, I ended up scoring something like 33 goals in my first season for them. And then a guy by the name of Anand Ramlogan or something, he scouted me. And that's where they gave the offer to come to Naprima College. And then Benedict's came as well. But then my aunt said, you're not going Benedict's like your cousin, you're going Naprima College.
Who's your cousin?
Cohen Forbes.
All right.
I think he played in the year with Black Sunday, but he's in the States now.
Well, yeah, that's some years before my time. Okay. Well, it shall come Benedict. Anyway.
Actually, listen, I was in Benedict's because Arazi, I had the privilege to sit with Arazi,
right.
And he was the one who Rashid Ali put me to view the school.
Ali, for sure, right? Yeah.
And at that point in time, I didn't have any clue of what was happening, because I was just still amazed at what was happening, perplexed. And I saw Razi sat next to me, and he did my whole test for me. So I was like, oh, I'm in Benedict's.
Oh, Lord Jesus. I understand. Yeah. So, just going back a little, how many years you spent in junior sec? Just one?
Yeah, 1 full year, because that's the school I passed for.
Right.
And because I always wanted to go to Paliseco Secondary where my brother went. Okay. But unfortunately, I went to junior sec, and my grades was good, but I don't know how I passed. But again, I never looked at that disposition. I continued in junior sec. I was excellent here. And then the opportunity came to go to Naprima College. So.
Right. So, you know about NAP. So what year is this that you went in NAP? Just to bring it all together.
I stayed in NAPS until I
No,
think 7 years because
the
I
year
had
that
the
the year that
opportunity.
you went in, not the cut you.
That'll
I can't
be
remember when I
Can't
went in,
remember.
but
All right, no
I think it
problem.
was probably
that'll be on
1995
94
or
or 5
06,
ish.
something there.
Yeah, 1995. We might have been
Okay.
Yeah,
around there.
All right.
because that's when
If
all
you're,
the I think a team of Ford came in Form 2
yeah,
from intermediate, Faizabad, Brenton, Pompey, all of them came in the same time as me.
Yeah.
yeah,
That team was some drama. Boy.
yeah,
So
that 98,
was
99,
he first? So all right. So did you go straight into the ethical team, or did you start off under 14, under 15? How did it go?
Off under 14, and I was scoring lots of goals for us. But then remember, I was on the national under 13 team already.
Okay.
So I was traveling already with Team 2001 to Brazil,
Okay.
being introduced to other ethnicity around the world. We were already in a living camp, so we were training 6 days a week.
All right. Yeah. No wonder that team was so exceptional, because the time
yeah,
we
what
put behind. I doubt it had any just to think about having living camp and training 6 days a week. That's an anomaly right now, yes.
now under 17 team was probably one of the best prepared teams
Yeah.
we ever produced, and it just came. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Continue.
so scoring lots of goals under 14. How did you make the national team? Where did they scout you
Um,
for this?
I think it was for the Youthful Cup in Trinidad where they had the tournament in scouting players from all over the world. And at that point in time, I was playing for Paliseco Youth Academy, and that we came quarterfinals in the Clico Cup against Gasparilla Youth, which Marvin Phillip was the goalkeeper.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I was the player who was pulling my team, but unfortunately, I got an injury and I wasn't able to run. So we ended up losing on penalties, and that's where Labre split fire with Brenton de Leon and so forth, and they played, and that's where Blackman was scouted as well too. And
Yeah, go see what.
yeah, it's unfortunate with him, but you know, pray that he catch himself.
Yeah, for sure. I see him around some mornings, so that's good. Growing up, you used to look up to those guys and things, so it's good to see them still. So you're scouted in the Youthful Cup, under 14, under 15. At what age did you start breaking into the intercult side? And were you guys groomed together and moved up as a group, and did that help gel you guys to become the force that you were in school football?
I think the boys who were already there, like Jace Peters, Leon Brown, who passed on to go to college and is coaching now, Erasto Neptune, these boys kind of paved the way for us because they would mentor us and they would, instill in us how important education is. They paved the way in gentlemanism, the way how we carry about ourselves as a prestige school, to wear the badge very proudly. And I think that grew us. John was also not an easy coach to play for.
For sure.
He would tell you, go make a... Yes, it.
Of course.
Yeah, that guy, he's not easy to play with. All the running, sometimes we finish school, we had to go down to the ground, and then we stay late, then we have to catch the bus. It's a sacrifice, and anything in life you want, you have to be disciplined, and it's a sacrifice. And back then we didn't know that, we were very carnal and not spiritual. And now as we grow up now understanding, and we understand that the world is spiritual, so and God is in charge. So, I'm very grateful.
Yeah, for sure. You live and you learn, and that's good that you found Christ. Yeah, so tell us a little bit. Now, look at jumping and you
enjoy it.
Oh, we can jump in and you're rushing all the questions, right? So you tell us about you fluctuated between your NAPS career and then your influences in the national team and all that, right? So I really want to focus on that period between, like you say, about 1999 to 2001, because that's where the name Jerol Forbes really started kind of being more prominent, right? Up to the other day, in 50 years at SSFL, you were named one of the players of the decade within that timing, right? So I want to hear about your memories about that. How you made that transition, how you dovetail between being selected for the national under 17 team, and I mean, yes, you did something that few men ever hope to do. You scored in our World Cup. So I want to hear about this.
Again, you know, looking back, I never really viewed myself as anything. First thing I would say, many people say that I was not humble, but I enjoyed scoring goals. I was not in any competition with anybody. I stayed in my own league. Again, in Naprima College, and training with the national team. Even the national team, there were coaches who would push us. There were coaches who would talk to us. You know, and God had put certain people, even in NAPS, Anil Gopi Singh, Dr. Terence Babwa, Mr. deceased Deo Singh. You know, these people were very instrumental in our upbringing. They would mentor us. They would talk to us. They will go out of their way for us to have the best, the doctors, the teachers. You know, Mr. Fayed Ali in Naprima College, one of the mathematician. You know, he wasn't easy. He's a serious dean, but, you know, he would give us free tuitions. And I think that transition period after training with the Triple Crown 99 team and being a part of it and playing with the national team and going abroad and working hard. And then I think John saw my talent and he said, you know what, I want you to play. But then I was afraid because I'm thinking, these boys are big. Why they want me to play, you know? I want to play more on the 13, on the 16 level. But they were seeing something more, you know? And I think when I got the opportunity in 2000, they put me forward, and Mr. Jagdeep Singh spoke to me and he said, Jerol, you can do great things. And I started to play with that team at McNair, rest in peace. And that kind of pushed me. And after scoring 19 goals that season, I remember before the season, I said in my heart, and I was just talking to God out loud in my heart. And I was like, I wonder if I can be, you know, a top goal scorer for NAPS this year, not knowing that the Lord was hearing it. And he made it happen. And I scored 19. And then the following year, 2001, I scored 20. And then 2002, I scored 33. So, you know, all glory to God.
Yeah, for sure. Just, I imagine me sitting down in the money. We say we have a strong side this year. And half time is like 3, is like horse. What go on here? Full time is 6. I was like, bro, something not normal. Hey, look up to me like CPU and them and Forbes running past them normal. They're like horse. This guy.
The front.
I grew up with CPO, but CPO was a very a challenging defender for me because he knew he knew how to take me off. Because one time when we were playing Benedict, I think I still have the video, in the box he swung and he punched me and this whole lip was hanging. And I was like, is this really, you know what I mean? I lost the plot. I want to fight him, you know what I mean? But then, you know, John was like, he's trying to throw you off again, but my lip is hanging. And I'm like,
right. Football, Those
I
are the
know, I
days,
know,
boy.
it's a no VAR,
Yeah,
in
no
Jackal
VAR,
and
no
thing,
VAR.
eh?
Yeah.
No VAR. When cuffing your elbow, might mash it. But
Yeah, and back then it's different now because you can see where uh, Pro Max and these people they get in the highlights of the pinnacle now because back then the TV coverage and so forth. People saw, I scored a goal against Peeville from half line.
Yeah.
I dribbled past a whole teams, even scoring 5 goals in one game and so forth. But the real joy was when we finished play, we were like a unity together, brothers, go out and eat together, smile together, laugh together,
Yeah. That's a great team. So I did ask you about this question, but you didn't finish it. Scoring in the World Cup. Just take us through the build up, even though we get some licks, but the team played admirably. Just tell us a little bit about that experience.
I think the whole organization of the thing was done well. I think Rennie Simonis, when he came in, he really transformed the team because after being in Brazil for a couple of months training in Zico coaching school and being privileged to see the Japan team across there, they were already 2 years in training in Brazil. So it shows you how the system is across the waters because even like being over here, seeing firsthand how some of the academies and some of the coaches are conducting their sessions is very technical. Yeah. And we have the skill, but we lack the discipline. And in the Under-17 World Cup, Rennie Simonis really did his homework. It was unfortunate for us in the Croatia game. It was unfortunate again in the Australia game. But Brazil was a different force to be played against. They were playing a different brand of football and we were more watching them. First half, we were watching in amazement of how they were moving the ball. And I think the gap was where we give them that upper hand because it's Brazil.
Respect.
Yeah. And then
we over-expected.
That's right. And in second half, it was 2-1. First half was 4-0. So you can see the difference in second half. We started to play.
And it was... I remember that stadium ram out for that game because most of them Trinidadians come in not necessarily to support Trinidad and Tobago, but they want to see Brazil play.
So I remember that. They don't go down that road now. So
I see the big. That's what went on.
Where that game was?
That was the National Stadium, right? The first game against Croatia was like about 11,000 in the stadium, right? But that Brazil game, ram out.
Oh gosh, don't.
No, I was getting vexed. I must do it by something I mustn't forget.
I can't remember which game I went to, but it was in Cuba, I think.
Yeah.
And what I remember is how much traffic it was to get there and thing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We got to go and see Spain, Argentina, because I was in Manny Jones. So.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, there was some good because remember Xavi, Iniesta, Tevez,
was the
Torres,
Tevez, Maxi Lopez, Fernando Torres, Maxi Lopez,
Flores, Cinema, Pongo, boy.
And this is
Iniesta.
This is why I watch it. Them men was the big names there. The Talek, Cinema, Pongo and thing. And I sure what the men doing. If you look at the amount of men, that came through in that tournament, right? And I mean, you will see some names in hindsight that I say, right, yeah. But some of you people that you highlight, we would say, hey boy, he going and be something else in a few years. And it just didn't happen like we thought in many instances.
Yeah, but the thing is, Cinema Pongo played in the MLS. He played in Singapore, right? He's a household name in I think Asia. Letalic is correct, ended with injury. It's not easy to be a pro over here, and I'll tell you guys that because when I played for Leatherhead over here, and they are just conference team, and they train twice a week. You get paid, even though you see them on TV and all these type of things. And this is what the outside world in Trinidad don't know. To get in this year, you got to be doing something exceptional. You got to be working, 3-4 times a day, trying to make sure you eat right, you sleep right, you know, your mental toughness is there because it is not easy here.
Yeah. For sure. We are.
I'm telling you that.
And this is why we're glad to have men like you on this, because your advice, your experiences, what you see and what you show could kind of make the difference in some youth man life. Because I just keep saying it, we had a big discussion about it. Certain things had to be self-motivated. The structure might be absent, yes, but you must get through if you keep trying at it yourself. And I'm glad that you raised the point that, you know, you had to be doing something exceptional.
Yeah, you have to work, because even I am privileged to, you know, run multiple businesses over here. Thanks be to God again. And you know, I have kids who are you know, not as talented as what we have in Trinidad, but these boys will come 5 days a week, twice a week, or twice every session, if they give them it, because they want it so bad that their parents is pushing them. You understand? Because the good thing in England is that everybody wants to be a professional footballer, but the reality is there's only 200,000 ballers and not many people can get a spot.
Right, for sure.
And even when I elaborate with some of the top coaches over here who have the privilege through a friend of mine's, Jake Malawi, and I coach with him at Leatherhead, and some of the boys, you know, they're very technically sound, and some of them wish they had these skills that the little black boy have, but the little black boy is running down fame and vanity and women, and that's the most dangerous killer in the game.
So,
I've been there, so I know.
You know, just I don't know if I missed it when I was trying to switch devices and all that. Where are you now?
In the UK.
Oh, UK. All right, great.
Yeah, so we want to thank you again for staying up to chat
because
with us.
4 or 5 hours.
It's midnight.
Time difference.
4 hours,
Midnight.
4 hours ahead.
It's midnight, right?
Yeah. They're about 12:30 now.
Right.
All right. So you.
So we can
So we really appreciate
on a little light note. Who was your favorite team growing up? Club, country.
My club Brazil, country Brazil, club Chelsea.
Chelsea back in the day?
Yeah.
Zola and thing, or before that?
I wouldn't say it's Zola, but I would say Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank.
Yeah.
You know, from that time. And then I had liked Manchester United because obviously being there in Manchester United on trials and beating the Triple Crown 99 players, and you know, it went well in Man United, but it was mismanaged by names I wouldn't put involved for lawyer purposes.
No problem.
But they could have handled it much more better, because we did do well in Manchester and Middlesbrough Football Club. We got offers, but it didn't result in the way we wanted, because probably whoever handled it, you know, and so, and this is one thing that players have to be very wary about, is who you have representing you. That's one major thing.
Yeah. I think
I hear that. I hear stories like that, and I think I know the name you're talking about. So let me leave that alone.
Yeah, leave it alone, Johnny. So I think your agents are vastly important, especially in our young players' career.
No 2 ways about it.
Yeah.
No 2 ways about it.
And even in older players' career, because sometimes agents, anyway, you can go down that way.
Yeah. Let me leave that alone.
This is the game. This is the. Listen, I have a kid that came to me from Equatorial Guinea. Very, very skillful young man. Yeah. But the dangers with these things being involved in football over the period of time coaching is some of the boys from West Africa or so forth, they lose their passport. And they want to get into the Premier League so much that they will get their brother passport and use their brother name. They will tell you that they're 17 when they're 32.
Yeah.
We see that.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you, because
you've seen that.
We faced with that recently with a guy, I wouldn't call his name. He came to me. I played with him at Leatherhead about 3 years ago. He was 19. But like he forgot, like I don't know if he time warped, because he came back to me and he told me that he's still 19. So he can't even remember what he told me.
He repeats. He didn't pass the 20-year-old exam now, so you have to repeat teenagers.
That's
Like what
unfortunate.
thought?
That's
He
unfortunate.
repeat.
So I hear you mention Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. Was he one of your favorite players? Can you tell us a bit of some guys you maybe molded your game after?
Well, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank was a great striker. He could have turned in. But my player who I used to follow was Ronaldo Firmino. Very, very skillful player. And the way how he would attack, well, he's not afraid to take on 2-3 players. And I think that adapted into my game, as you can see in Naps. I wasn't afraid. 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm going at you, you know. I would say Robinho.
All right.
Yeah.
Another player, Hardest in Trinidad, Owen German,
Right.
very skillful technical player.
Hear that name you called in now, boy. Continue. Sorry.
Conor Glenn, one of my favorite players because of his speed. He's not afraid to take on players.
Take on man, yeah.
I would say who was at that time? Kaka was very good. I followed. So they were basically the core of players that I would look at and sit and watch and try to develop my game around. And that kind of way helped me as well too in my finishing because I used to spend a lot of time finishing. My mom, one day she might be able to give her testimony, but she would make breakfast and I would say, "Ma, I'm gone." She would say, "Son, wait, I'm already on the pitch down my knee." So, I'll be training and running. I used to go with my cousins. We would run 5Ks and try to keep up, But unfortunately, injuries come. And the difference is with football, and a lot of kids don't understand this. You're going to put your body at a lot of wear and tear. You have to be able to fight through all roughness because it's not an easy thing. You have to get that mental toughness from early to know that, listen, you're a soldier. You might get a lick, but you got to keep on ticking. You got to work.
For sure. So in terms of you looking back, right, what would you say was one of the most pivotal moments in your football career? What you think really well, I wouldn't even want to say pivotal, memorable for you, that you personally hold dear to you?
I would say the goal against Brazil, but I would more say to play when I played against England.
Okay. That was the game long, yeah.
Not many people.
Yeah.
That's right. 3-0 we lose.
Yeah. So, what would you say is your most kind of heartbreaking moment in football?
Heartbreaking moment to lose against Princeton in the final.
Which year was this?
That was that year in 2000 we lost to Scarborough in the Big Four final and Princeton in the Big Four final. So we went the 2 finals and lose.
Okay. Scarborough, when the guy used to flip and do a machine gun. Was it that one? It had a flip and do a machine gun celebration. I forgot his name.
And then you still drop down. Yeah.
What that is?
Lindsay Sherwood?
No, that's what Princess Tongue. But the Scarborough man, I remember that Scarborough man used to
Michael Carrington.
Carrington, I think was his name.
Carrington, yeah.
So
Carrington.
That guy celebration, that kind of it's like Robbie Keane doing this, he used to bring out his rifle.
Yeah.
And he was always scoring, he really scored that year. So
And then he was a well, but he got disciplined and Randy Simonis got rid of him because of disciplinary reasons. But he was a serious competitor as a striker. He was a turning all of us still because Blackman, Andrea Alexis, myself, we had to be fighting to keep your pick because Carrington was coming.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that Princess Tongue team, I wonder because on that team, but that Princess Tongue team was real talented. Pacheco, Lindsay Sherwood, what's it called? Noriega.
That'll be said I win.
Clyde Leon was on that side. Yeah. I remember those were those memories burn into my brain. Good times. So you lost twice that year. What did you learn from that experience? Losing 2 finals.
It was a disappointing one because after winning the Intercol in 2000 and in 2001 we had a very good squad, so we're thinking that okay, we were playing exceptional. We destroyed St. Anthony's College in their home ground in St. Anthony's 2-1.
Yeah.
And then Scarborough was our nemesis because deceased Anthony, what's his name, who died from the FIFA Under 17, Roger Anthony, who passed away. He went to Scarborough because he was at Naps, and then he went to Scarborough. So now playing against these boys was very competitive. Us.
Right. I remember Roger Anthony. He was the skipper for the Under 17 team, man.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he was the captain.
Right. I didn't know he passed away. Okay.
Yeah, he passed away, I think, in Tobago, something incidental, but you know.
Accident or something?
Yeah.
Or
something.
At that level, he was a very, very good player. Bro. I remember that.
Nah, but I finally skipping on the chronology. I want to actually understand
Bring it back together.
Yeah, I want to understand what happened after the World Cup, with your career in terms of going pro and trying to go abroad and stuff like that. Because you touch on something with the agents, and to be honest, most of the people we have interviewed, so we try to tell all these fellas' stories, all these stars' stories, right, from Trinidad, and so many trainee professionals, I find it alarming, didn't have agents. Man was representing himself, looking through things for himself and all this kind of stuff, and I just can't help but feel like, all right, but looking back, that means you didn't have the help you needed in your career now. So what kind of happened after? What happened after the World Cup, as far as your career?
Was that after the Under-17 World Cup and going through Manchester United, that kind of opened up our eyes. As you know, Kenwin Jones and Blackburn went with me. Whilst training, as we first came to Man United, we met Alex Ferguson. He shook our hands. David Beckham sat with us, ate breakfast. He spoke to us, he lamented so in the World Cup, because they did their homework on us already. So they knew what we were coming with. Okay. Roy Keane, he spoke to us very sternly. He told us because at that time, Dwight York was there and he was about to leave.
He stereotype all there.
Yeah, so he was saying, don't follow Dwight York.
Wait, Roy Keane not easy, boy, this man.
I see a clip of Roy Keane at 21 years old and the man's serious. So I could just see that.
Very serious.
He was all this too. He did business.
Yeah,
but anyway, continue.
Yeah, I think the professionalism in Man United and seeing the atmosphere and how the under-19s, the under-16, the under-13s, how they are being taken care of was an eye-opener for us. Because when you reach into the Man United Aeon complex and you reach the training facility, you don't have to walk with no clothes. You reach there, there is a kitchen with chefs from all over the world cooking for you.
Right.
You have breakfast, you sign autographs coming out of the room, you get your training kit, and then you go train. When you finish train, you put the kit in a bin, they will wash that. It have games room to keep you occupied for the second session in the afternoon. When you finish train, you have your massage, you have if you want to do extra work, you want sharp mobility, whatever you want. From that, you have the housekeeper who will come with a van and he will transport all the players to the different environments. If you're living in the hotel, if you're on trials from us, wherever they put you up in a hotel, we were staying by housekeepers. So they would get somebody who has a house with extra room and they would pay for you to stay in a room. And as the weeks passed training there, it was very difficult in Man United because it's a dog-eat-dog world out there. Everybody's fighting to be seen. Right. So you have to be doing something. And we met Kieran Richardson. He was the skipper.
Right. That's where Sunderland.
We met other people who...
No,
Man United.
He was a youth skipper.
True. Yeah. Correct.
And that's where we met Luke Chadwick. We saw Lauren Blum. Vin Van Nistelrooy just came in. So Shia was with training as well, talked to us. And so we met we met the whole stars, you know, and
Right.
from there we went to Middlesbrough, and that's where we trained Middlesbrough first team, and that's where Paul Ince was the captain. Had the privilege to meet Paul Ince and you know, speak with Alex Miklesh, and you know, he was there speaking to us, and he gave us the privilege to train with the first team of Middlesbrough, and that's where it was something different because we were young kids, you understand? And
How old were you
train
guys?
with Middlesbrough first team is like, is this crazy? You know what I mean? But it's something that I regret, because if I knew better back then, things could have been. But you know, my career dipped because of I would say not much support, because it's a serious thing when you're trying to go pro, and if people not for you, and it's going to be difficult because you need favor, you need, you know what I mean, somebody to, you know, give it that push, you know. And I think, Ken Wynn got that push from John Williams in W Connection, because he left Jablati, because he was signed to Terry Fenwick, but he left when he came back from Man United and went straight to W Connection. They followed up, and he was out of Trinidad. Where myself and Blackman, we were in the dark, we didn't understand anything. And so my career was in Jablati for a bit, depending on Terry Fenwick. Unfortunately, it phased out, and you know, in Jablati, when the big boys was there, Otis Seaton, Angus Eve, they were not making it easy for the young players. So you were feeling like you're not wanted, you know, until Elcock will try to push you, or Nigel Peer was, even though he was very quietly spoken, he would always, you know, push you on. Travis Marine, again, a very hard-working one in Jablati, would talk to you and say, "Youth man, this is a serious thing. Pick up yourself," you know. And I think it was when the Jablati Terry left, and they brought in a new coach, and he was more into youths, and he saw my ability, because I was not afraid to take on some of the bigger lads in Jablati. And then I got to play with the first team, but I ran away from it because I was thinking, these men, you know, they're big. I don't have time for that. You know, when it's my time, it's my time. But actually, they were trying to show me that, man, you competing with these guys and even better. Yeah, but I did not understand. Trying to hide and play on the 20, and then that's where I got most goal and most valuable player for Jablati on the 20 and so forth. And I got followed the map friends, you know, partying. And I could only tell a player and advise them of my mistakes. And I think that kind of maybe fell off the map. And, you know, then I think it's when I saw Ian Daniel, and after a game watching him for Trinidad, and it just kind of rekindled something in me. And it was like, man, he's playing for Trinidad, bro. What are you doing? And at that minute, I just dropped everything. And I said, you know what? I'm going to start back training hard. And it wasn't easy, because on anything you do in a road of recovery, you're going to have to sacrifice. And I sacrificed friends. I sacrificed, you know, not going to parties. I end up training 3 times, sometimes twice. Even Marlon Lewis would run with me in Sapara, 8 laps, 12 laps, trying to get myself, you know. And then Brian Williams gave me the opportunity to play for Petrotrin. And that kind of helped me back on the journey to get back to the national team.
Okay. That's really great to hear. Appreciate you sharing that.
So my follow-up question to that is really so even getting the trial, and then all that period there after the trial, and then being in the Pro League, etc., did you have an agent? Like, who was in your corner really professionally?
I had no one. At the point in time, I did, because I had Terry Fenwick and a guy named Peter Miller. As you know, these two guys have not been welcome with things there. But I don't say anything. I leave it because for personal reasons and lawsuits and different things. But I would say they did do a lot for me, because whatever I needed, their company sometimes for Jablati and the 20 and so forth, they will get me brand new boots or clothes, or sometimes my wardrobe was full with equipment. You know, they were, because they saw the potential and what could have become. But again, I think lack of guidance, and there were people like a guy named Mr. Hugh Leon Poy, a very wealthy businessman. He would also be used and to help me, and whatever I need. And he tried to get me to go to China. He carried me St. Vincent, where a Chinese team came, our Beijing Koreans, me and Wendell Joseph. And at that time, 60,000 US was a lot of money. And, but again, we didn't understand what was happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But so I guess so we've spoken to players before, and we've heard of players before who, they're good at football, they're talented at football, but maybe football wasn't their passion all along. So was football your passion all along, and you kind of always had an eye on, even after you finished playing, you'll get into management and some sort of development or something?
I never had any clue about coaching. And the reason being I say that is because after playing for Leatherhead and my time at Leatherhead, scoring goals, and to be able to play in what you call the stadium over here, can't remember the name, but I scored in a very good stadium, and a coach came, and his name was Perry Goff, and he gave me the opportunity. And the funny thing about that story is, I was living with my daughter's mother. I was working construction. I would finish work at 4 o'clock. I had to catch the train for a 2-hour journey just to go train. And after I finish train, I have to reach home at 12 o'clock, catch the last train. People don't know the sacrifice. And I will reach home at 1 o'clock, get up 5 o'clock, ready to go construction again. Because we have to work, And the coach, but, because I'm looking after my daughter. Sometimes I would carry my daughter to football games and leave her with one of the parents just so I can play.
Right.
And from that, the coach saw my discipline, and I didn't know he was looking at it. And one day in the dressing room, for the first game when I played, he put me on the bench because he said, "You're not fit." I said, "Coach, I know I'm not fit, coach, because I work." And he said, "I see you have talent. I know you can play." And then he gave me the last 5 minutes of the game. And when he put me on, but before he put me on into the last 5 minutes, I already looked at the opposition team, and I was like, okay, these two defenders slow. Okay, I'm going to take the ball. And as soon as I get it, bye-bye.
I got to take on them, man.
Yes. So when I got the ball in the last 5 minutes, I ended up scoring 2 in the last 5 minutes. 2 beautiful goals. And after that, he put me to start. And I didn't even have to train. He was just putting me to play, and I would score.
Right.
And that's when he understood that this guy, he can play. And he came into the dressing room and he said, "Guys, there's something about this guy, Jerol. Learn from this guy. He's very quiet, but the guy go and play." And, he was the one instrumental in giving me my first coaching opportunity. He wrote a letter and he phoned me and he said, "How would you like to come and coach with me at Waltham and Hersham and Leatherhead Football Club?" I said, "Coach, me?" He said, "Yes, you." Not knowing that God was trying to show me that even though you didn't make it in football, I will open different doors and avenues for you to use your gifting. And I started to coach with him at Waltham and Hersham, and that was before I met Christ. And everything, that was just a glimpse of what God was showing me into the future. And then that's when God had to break me, and I lost everything, and then give my life to Jesus, and the rest is history. He raised me back up. I know about, I went through difficult times in that period on meeting Christ. I was homeless. I had no money. I used to walk the streets with for 30 minutes to go and outreach for Christ. I was mocked. I was laughed at. But that didn't stop me because I knew what the revelation I got from Christ, and I'm very grateful to Jesus Christ, my King, for saving me and putting me back in pieces because I was broken. And my message to young men is that this world is not easy, and you're gonna face things, and to trust in Jesus. That's the best I can tell people, man, because He's really a redeemer and a rock.
All right, definitely, amen. So, given that your perspectives, you say that you've evolved not just in terms of your outlook in terms of the game, but in terms of your life, right? How much in terms of let's say you could speak to your, let's say, 18, 19-year-old self, right? What would be one piece of advice you would give your 19-year-old self?
Looking back, being obedient, because being stationed now in the Word of God and reading the Word of God, and the privilege to read the Bible 7 times and studying the Word of God now, and obedience is better than sacrifice. And in anything you do, as you can see, an actor, he must be disciplined. A runner must be disciplined. A boxer, any sport athlete that you see today, it's a discipline, it's an obedience. And I didn't have that, because to go to the next level, you got to go to the next, drastic stage in your life and pushing. You got to break barriers. You can't just stay on one level. Mediocrity will kill you. And when people are sleeping at 5 a.m., you got to get up at 4 a.m. You got to go get the earlier start, because it's how bad you want it, And a second thing is putting God first. Because if you don't put God first, nothing will happen for you. You can try all how, if you don't put that man above first and give him his glory, and thirdly, how do you handle when people praise you? Because it can break you.
Okay.
Because the higher you go up, the more humble you have to be. And the humbling is putting your face to the ground and glorifying him who put you up there, because he can take you down.
True.
Preaching right now, bro.
And how I mean, I don't know what the culture might be out there in terms of like you being able to share your experiences, because it's not just the physical or the sports, but it has a spiritual component of it, right?
That's right.
How easy has it been for you to translate your message and your experiences to those under your charge? And what I forgot to ask, what the level you're coaching at?
Well, to be honest with you, I would say I'm going for my UEFA B license, and it's one of our learning, because I tend to go back to Coach Perry Goff. I go to Jake Malawi, who are very established coaches. They've been around. They also connect me with top coaches to speak with and meet, and they always bring me along, as you can see, to Chelsea games, and have the privileges of so forth, as God has opened his arm. But the kids in my academy, it's very difficult dealing not with the kids but with the parents, because the parents and they believe that they know better. So sometimes they want to control the session. No, my son need to do this. But my philosophy is your son don't need to do nothing because he ain't good. The reason
so the Trinity does come out? The Trinity does come out. The Trinity does come out.
Of course.
You know, my little Trinity telling off in Jesus' name if necessary. But
listen, it's not easy, trust me. Some of them, they are our own businesses, and they will come, and the black man, they will want to come and give you £10 and tell you that for 2 hours, hold that. Like, and I'll be like, are you real? So here what I will do then. You pay me £10, your son will run for the whole evening for £10.
Yeah.
Right? And very hard.
He makes you on fitness training.
Yes, he will be very fit, I have seen a kid, I have the privilege to work with a brother of mine, who I go to church with, Brother Ed. He started the academy with me. We started with one boy, and to tell you the honest truth, I wasn't making no money. I was doing it out of love and my heart. And the parents saw that, I was doing it for the love and not the money, but yet still, they didn't want to even pay.
Right.
And then I had to form things over.
They're trying to get something looking like love and expect you to hold that.
Yeah, promising.
That can't work.
Yeah. I was going to say that, the kids, they are good boys, but they are misguided, because in the UK, most of the kids, they are growing up in broken homes. and people don't know that. Some of these kids I have boys who are, adopted, boys who, their parents don't look after them. They want to be roadman. It's a lot of mentoring and, constant ministering, praying for them, and, and it's a challenge, but it's a task, because I see these boys as a young Forbes, and I try to lecture to a young Forbes, as you say, bro, don't do that. Bro, don't make that mistake. Bro, just work hard. Bro, listen, the sky's the limit if you give it your all, bro. But, I can only do so much of talking. But at the end of the day, they believe. Sometimes they throw sand in my face. They walk out of me. Some people don't pay me. And they come right back.
Right.
And they have to apologize. And I'll be like, you know what? I forgive you. But now I learn. So now you need to sign a contract. If you don't sign, I don't want you.
Right. So tell me a little bit about how your talent identification for your players in your academy and that your coach goes, because I've seen that it seems that you're taking it as not just to develop them professionally and sports wise, but to develop them socially outside of the world of sports too. Is that correct, or is it?
Well, I try to educate them on what's happening out here, because some of these boys are very spiritual, but yet still they're blinded. And when I say blinded, because they would see, like myself, who own a construction company, thanks be to God, he's opened these doors for me, and clothing brands and stores and restaurants and so forth. And they would see that and think that because you can buy a pair of trainers this week or a pair of trainers next week and so forth, that's the goal thing. But actually they misunderstood or misread it, because I'm buying it to show the mass outside there so that they can buy. I could care less about the shoes. I need 10 pairs sell. That 10 pair, could do something for a child or a person who is suffering, or somebody who need help, or sometimes it's to help them itself,
All right. So, your age group is what, under 12, under 8, or how old are you looking at?
I have boys from the age of 18 downwards. One of my recent boys, he got scouted by Chelsea. And the thing with that is very difficult, because some of the parents see the scouts come from Chelsea, like Mr. Peter, he came. And I speak to him, and they think that that's the end all, but they didn't listen to what the scout said. He said to stay with Jerol, you will learn, because you need to be in a enrollment for at least, you need to buy into what is happening here, because some of these kids have bad habits. And some of the parents come to me and they say, do the Lukaku. But your name is Liam, or your name is Paul, or your name is John, but you want to do the Lukaku. No, people want to see what John is doing. People want to see what Paul is doing.
Yeah.
So would you say there's so currently how people kind of talk, how fans kind of talk about football, there's discourse about a type of coaching that is developing desire and professionalism and work ethic and stuff like that. And then there's like a technical understanding of concepts on football, etc. Would you say at the age group that you're dealing with, is one more important than the other? Is it one or the other that you're focusing on, or is it both?
That's a good question, because I am finding it difficult, because my worst nightmare is dealing with the ones who can't play. Because it's a lot of patience required. And I'm being honest, it blows my mind sometimes, and the more it blows my mind, God sends that particular age, because he says
make it stronger, that's all.
So it's very, I say thank you, God, because whatever he's trying to teach me here is for betterment, and I've seen talented boys come to me. They walk away from me. They didn't walk away from the training, but they walk away because they didn't see enough boys there. But what they didn't understand is that God don't work with the 100 and the million. God work with the 2, because is his glory. And we saw that with Gideon. He told, he 20 something, he used 300 and he didn't even use them. You know?
He cut it down. And just...
That's right. And it's the same thing with you and I. God don't need, he just need one person to distinguish, you know, and to separate to do his work. And I've seen scouts come for boys. I've seen them, but then when they get these scouts come, they think they make it, they think they're superstars, and then you see their career or their talent starts deteriorating. Pride.
So do you consider yourself still a student of the game? So are you actively watching a lot of football and trying to import some of the tactics of some of the coaches in the Premier League level and stuff like that, or how do you see yourself right now?
I see myself as a servant of Jesus Christ first and foremost. Secondly, I don't see myself as anything. I see myself as always learning, because there's not enough learning that one can encounter to edify himself to wisdom. Because you can never be wise. You're always learning. And because you're learning, you become wise. Because a child, when you tell a child, don't touch the fire, what do they do? They touch it. When they get burned, they say, touch it now. They wouldn't touch it. So you learn. So you become wise. Light bulb on, that burns. I should not touch. So anything you do in life now, you will learn. And as you learn, you become wise. And the greatest teacher that you always see is somebody who has done it before and make mistakes, because you must learn from them.
All right. Definitely. So you describe yourself as a kind of what? A tough love kind of coach, or hand around your shoulder kind of coach, or what? How you describe yourself in terms of your coaching approach?
My coaching approach is very serious on the pitch, because I'm challenging these boys to push beyond barriers, you know. I've seen kids come to me who couldn't juggle a ball, and by pushing them, giving them 1,000 keep-ups, you know, working with them. Today, one kid is making 780 keep-ups. I've seen a kid come to me who couldn't play football, and you know, I can testify of, you know, he was laughed at. And I always tell people, the first be last and last will be first. They were laughing at him. Today, he's one of the most fittest boys in the academy. He was 96 kilos. He came down to 52 kilos.
Way.
He was working really hard.
There's hope, we'll say. There's hope.
There's hope.
Only if you're a trainer.
It starts in your mindset. I can train you, though. I don't saw 3 days to the week, though.
It's all right.
No thanks. No thanks.
I still want to be able to play football.
You see what I mean? Oh, yeah, no damn respect. All right, no problem.
So, who would you say are your favorite coaches, top level coaches to probably model after, or just to enjoy their tactics or how they put out their team?
Locally, I would say Dexter Cyrus is a very, very tactical coach, very, very smart, you know. Angus Eve, again, so there's the two, because they like a lot of tiki-taka football, you know. The old school ones, Brian and they're good, but the football has evolved, and you got to evolve the techniques too. Pep Guardiola, very, very fantastic coach, you know, is styling the way, you know, how he has structured, built. Some people say because he's went to Bayern Munich, he has gotten a team, but there's no such thing as that. Your philosophy has to coincide into what you trying to initiate to the players and for them to go out and portray for you. So you have seen it in Man City. Again, you know, he don't play with an out-and-out striker. He plays with midfielders. You can see Mourinho, he had his timing. But people have caught on to Mourinho football because now he's playing Park the Bus. And, you know, that style of football is gone out the window. But again, he's still a great coach. But again, in everything, you have your timing of success, you have your timing of hardship. So how he responds to his hardship will either make him in the next couple of years. You never know.
So do you see a future? Do you see a future for Mr. Forbes in Trinidad football in a coaching capacity or any part of Trinidad football? Do you see yourself
even as part of the UK network or something to make it easier for players out there, something? Or you see yourself contributing?
Me, where God wants his business to go first and plummet wherever, nothing is impossible with God. He can do all things. You know, if he wants, he can blow Forbes Elite Academy for the world to see his glory. Is not beyond his measure. For me, my thing is to try to get the first professional team out of Hounslow FC, to play probably in the Championship or Premier League, you know, to be owned by myself one day.
Wow.
And that will be a platform to have kids come over here and, you know, use some of the coaches that I've seen and give them an opportunity to coach. But then it's a business. Same way you get hired, same way you'll get fired.
So true. So
Wow.
true.
All right, cool.
That's so true.
All right, so that's great to hear. That's great. So you're still a Chelsea fan? You're still
Yeah, still a Chelsea fan. Again, I went to the Champions League game with Chelsea versus Malmo for a very great atmosphere, electrifying. Then I went to Chelsea versus can't remember the game on the weekend, couple weeks ago. Very good game again. They drew 1-1.
Oh.
Yeah, Norwich.
That was Norwich, yeah.
Which one they drew?
They drew 1-1. Burnley, yes.
Yeah.
And again, good atmosphere. I was sitting with a couple of coaches. We accessed the game. You know, because it's very difficult when you're sitting with fanatics. And to be honest with you, it's not easy sitting in a Chelsea stadium.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Explain why.
I was gonna explain why, and my question will come after.
All right. So where we were sitting, with peripheral view of the pitch, and there was other gentlemen in front of us, and you know they swear a lot. So you gain the right sounds, and
Right.
you know they hate Tottenham, so they singing swearing words at Tottenham, and then this gentleman, he's supporting Chelsea. But as soon as they got the goal, he started criticizing. So the same thing you were supporting, then he just went crazy and he started swearing. And then he started turning on the fans. And then he just got up, threw his hand in the air and just left the stadium. They said he's been doing that every game. That's crazy.
He's
They're very passionate. They're very passionate about their football.
You always see some kind of madness in that stadium. I'll never forget the time when they catch this man brushing his
Listen, you're gonna see crazy and more mad things. These people, they don't care.
Yeah.
So let me ask, when you go to a game, right?
Yeah.
You just go to watch it as a fan, or you just go to watch it as a student of the game to hone your coaching craft? Or what's your approach in watching the game?
I try to access the game from a coaching point of view, first and foremost, because I want to learn. And secondly, sometimes when you go there and, you know, because you've been a former pro and, you know, the coaches will be like, this is so he played against England and a FIFA under 17, and then people coming to you and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, you know what? I came to just watch the game, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's basically sometimes. So sometimes I tend to, as soon as the game is finished, I'll tell like Jake, listen, 5 minutes, let's leave. Because after the game is finished, that's where you get the pickpocketers and the heavy crowd trying to go to the train station. You know, you have to get to your car in this traffic. So it's a very difficult time when the game is finished.
Okay.
And
in terms of the differences because I mean, your experience our local football culture, right? What positives or what lessons you think we could learn in terms of, I'm not talking about I'm talking about our football fan culture, right? Because you see in all parts of the divide, both as a player, as a fan, as a coach, as a, you know, and you see how it is in England. Huh?
I like what is going on.
No. I just want to know what you think we could adopt locally to get that kind of passion, because I mean, you're going to get no sort of traffic after a pro league game.
I think the marketing strategy in the pro league could be much betterly handled. And when I say handled, because if the fans don't come, the players will not get paid. And it must have a strategy in place that players want to come to Trinidad. What is Trinidad, like say, attracting players with? Nothing. Nobody wants to come because the TV rights is not there. The marketing is not there.
Right now we have roti and doubles, but roti and doubles is the polarizer.
No, but the thing is, any player, as you see from we looking back at Brazilians who came to the connection or wherever, they already adapted into the culturism of Trinidad and Tobago. Wine, woman, song, party. So
it's easy for them. They will come.
That's right. And once you hit that road, it's a serious decline.
I mean,
Zwadi was trying to get you to say something about.
No. I was trying to get him to say
the average patriotism. The average patriotism.
I want to know
self-interest of Trini fans versus English.
To improve the league, brother. That is all, right?
That
is all. To improve the league. What we could improve the league. What we saying that?
I would say the fans make the teams because these people rally around the team. When I mean rally around the team, listen, the pubs, being there and sitting and, the pubs will be full on a football day.
Yeah.
I mean full. People will sit in the pub from 11 o'clock until 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, for sure.
People
right?
Especially if the team win.
What people in Trinidad do that for? What people in Trinidad be somewhere holding?
Just because
it's Saturday, it's
Thursday,
Friday night.
and I think about it. These men will do this every day for no reason. For no reason.
Yeah, but the difference is these people, you will see them paralytic, drunk, but bet your $1 they at work first thing in the morning because if they don't go. No, I'm telling you, but
We ain't going to work.
No, I'm sick right now.
Sometimes I wonder when I because I don't always think about it. The games that they go through Champions League nights and things is like, it's not working anymore.
Midnight finishing.
So it's the games at Sunday night in England. It's the games at Champions League nights in England. It's just it's madness. When you think about the time, I've seen people argue about it. People who are obviously who take their job very seriously and things. So they're talking about it's violence against the working man and thing, how they're scheduling these things. Yeah. But then you also see some people who is part of it. I go into work the next day normal, and that's just what it is. Yeah.
That's the culture. They will party paralytic, and the first thing in the morning, bright and early coffee. If they have to drink Gramazone and all
drunk or sober, mind your business. That's all. Drunk or sober, mind your business.
Oh gosh.
Hey, but Mr. Jerol Forbes, trust me, I enjoyed this episode. Hope you enjoyed it as well. We really appreciate you coming on Trifactor Podcast once again.
Especially at that time you are now.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate that.
I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure, man.
Yeah. Thank you for being transparent, sharing your honest story. So somebody could learn from it. Once again, this podcast is to shine a light on former stars of Trinidad and Tobago, and you're still doing your thing. So hopefully, you get that club you own it, and you'll be watching. What do you say, Hounslow FC?
Hounslow FC.
Hounslow FC one day.
FC.
Thank you for coming on, bro.
Thank you so much, Mr. Forbes. Right? But that's all the endeavors, and may you continue to grow from strength to strength.
Have a good morning.
Amen. Bless you guys.
All right.
Thank you. Blessings.
Later.